Well, Patrick, we can't wait for the Christmas action. I bet it's just the same close Sutton. And let's start with the Ladbrokes Christmas Hurdle at Kempton. Big, bold move to bring Lossiemouth over for clash with Constitution Hill. How much are you looking forward to this one?
Oh, sure, it's going to be an absolute cracker of a race. Look, I rode behind Constitution Hill in the Sprint Novices. I saw him demolish Stateman in the Champion Hurdle like everyone else. If Constitution Hill can get back to his best, he's going to be very hard to beat. But there's that question mark now. There has to be the long absence, the work that maybe didn't look like it lit anyone's fires particularly. Our mare and Ballyburn both travel over this morning, so they'll be landing sometime after lunchtime. Look, 4 runners. There should be a bit of pace in it with Burdette Rowe in there and Lump Sum. Obviously, Hardy fit. It's going to be good ground, 2 miles. Look, we think our mare is very, very good. Is she good enough to beat Constitution Hill? This will tell us.
Yeah, what a race it is. And what a few rides you've got at Leopardstown as well. Start with Copec De Bard, who you won on Easter last year. He looked really exciting that day. Hurdling debut at Leopardstown.
Yeah, obviously, but Paul has gone over to ride Lossiemouth and Ballyburn, so it's left me with a few presents in Leopardstown at home. Look, delighted to get on Copec De Bard. Look, I think he's a beast. He's a horse with size, scope, stamina. He's a beautiful horse. He blew me away in Fairyhouse. They went a real strong gallop that day. One of Twist and Davids's came over that had a few runs. And our fella just demolished him. Now, I know the second horse, he won afterwards, but he got beaten off 120 there easily enough. So, but I think we beat him 13 lengths very easily. So I think that still puts us up very high in the ratings, or we'd like to think it is. Obviously, he didn't come through the point or Frenchfield, so it is his first run over hurdles, but he schooled very well at home. I'm really looking forward to riding him. I think he could be one of our top novices this year. We do also have Cowabunga in there, a Tunis horse who was third in all toy. And he's done everything right at home as well. So it won't be any pushover. And I think Gordon and Henry have decent horses in it also. It's a race with a little bit of depth. But yeah, getting the right Copec De Bard put a smile on my face this morning.
But it did. And Redemption Day as well. We've seen plenty of him in the bumper sphere. This is his own hurdling debut on the same card.
Yeah, well, look, we got him off Pat Doyle, and he jumps very well. I know people were a bit maybe confused as to why he went back bumpering last year, but he'd had a tendon injury, and we just felt it might be easier to keep him sound in bumpers, and he ended up winning the Grade 1. So I think that decision was justified. He ran quite keenly with me in his first 2 runs last year, which he hadn't done before he was injured. And then we put the hood on him, and Jody Townend as well, and Jody dropped him out last twice. And that really got him to relax, and it got him to use his, he has this turn of foot, this huge turn of foot. But obviously in a 17-runner maiden hurdle, you're not going to be dropping him out last. And Willie hasn't put the hood on him today. I think he's hoping that, having jumps in front of you will often settle a horse. And maiden hurdles and hurdles are generally ran at a slightly faster pace than bumpers. So hopefully that'll keep him relaxed. But again, look, I thought there was never much between Basel Vega and Redemption Day as bumper horses. So this horse is a huge engine. I'm not worried about his jumping whatsoever. Hopefully he'll settle. And again, it's a competitive race. These maiden hurdles are graded hurdles essentially. But I won on him at Leopardstown Christmas a couple of years ago. So hopefully we can double up.
What about the bumper itself? Green Splendor, is your ride in that?
Yeah, Green Splendor ran very well in Newbury for the Crawfords and Muneers, and was 4th. Anthony Bromley was actually over during the week with Simon and Isaac, and I was just saying to him that he hasn't particularly lit my fire. That he works well, but he hasn't just made me excited. But Anthony just said when he ran in Newbury, he was their 3rd choice, and he ran best of them. So he's obviously a horse that saves his best for the track. And I do think every week he has just been sharpening up a little bit. So I'm really looking forward to him. I think he's going to run well, but I'm hoping that he's a horse that is saving his best for the track. And obviously, those horses that are relaxed and laid back, they keep their energy and conserve it for when you really need it at the end of the race. So we're going on hope rather than expectation. But, his first run was very good. If he improves on that at all, he should be bang there.
Patrick, moving on to the 27th, and a Christmas present you've given us, bringing Ballyburn over to Kempton for the Wayward Lad. Potential clash with Sir Gino. That's blockbuster stuff.
It is, isn't it? I mean, there's just been some fantastic racing this season so far between, the John Dirk and the Morgiana, the Hatton's Grace, and now we're getting Lossiemouth, Constitution Hill, Sir Gino, Ballyburn. It's interesting, obviously, they got rid of the 2 mile grade 1 in Leopardstown. So that's why we're coming across with Ballyburn. Look, his pedigree is all 3 miles and he's a Flemsford, you know, like, is he really a real out and out 2 miler on good ground around Kempton? Probably not. But I think that this will be a fantastic experience for him. It'll really sharpen him up. Sir Gino will be no pushover, as neither would either the Nichols horses, should they declare. But we're very happy with Ballyburn since he ran. He's obviously got this huge engine. And, you know, I think obviously the fact that Paul is going over to ride him probably says enough, really, doesn't it?
Paul there, I mean, Joe aboard Gaelic Warrior to Paddy's Reward Chase. Fantastic to see him back. What are you expecting from him on his seasonal return?
Yeah, well, look, I can't wait. I got a fantastic spin off him in Limerick last year. This is going to be a very different test, obviously. He's ran at Leopardstown twice, obviously, when he blew out last year in DRF, but I think that something was amiss there. And he won a handicap hurdle there, but didn't exactly bolt in. So, look, it's, you know, it's going to be good ground. His best performance is probably on heavy ground, if you look at the Arkle and Limerick. All the other horses have had a run. It's his first run. He got held up at the start of the season. So he has a couple of little negatives against him. There's no doubt he's the best horse in the race. I can't wait to ride him. Like, he's just, the feeling of power that he gives you is extraordinary. But I just think if there was a day when he was going to be vulnerable this season, it probably is going this direction on this ground on his seasonal debut against race fit horses. But having said all that, look, he's the best horse in the race, and I'm really looking forward to riding him.
You must be looking forward to the Grade 1 Novice Hurdle as well. Carniquet is your ride in that.
Yeah, this was the trickier one. Obviously, I rode Sia Sands the last, and I won a maiden hurdle on Sia Sands. Sia Sands, he ran quite keenly when I rode him in Listowel in his maiden hurdle, and then he went for the Zarwitz. So having raced keenly, he went to a flat race and raced keenly again. So in the Royal Bond, I really wanted to get him to settle and then race at the end, teach him to race efficiently. Now, we missed the first hurdle, which left us a bit further back than I wanted, but he did settle. His jumping improved throughout the race, and he ran well. He ran on to be third. You know, I think he probably has the potential to be better than the bare form of that run, and that won't put him too far away. You know, Romeo Coolio is obviously just ahead of him. But Carniquet, look, he looked very exciting. Tremor. Now it was probably a poor race on a country track, so you know what it really tells you, I don't know. But I've gone for Carniquet. Maybe the potential over the slightly more exposed horse. But you know, I wouldn't be hugely surprised should Sia Sands come by me. But Carniquet's done everything right since. Obviously, Gordon's 2 horses set the standard. But these novice hurdles at Christmas, they're normally at the time when Ruby's riding Paul will get a winner, when Paul's riding myself or Danny get a winner. It's always hard to know.
And you had a choice in the bumper as well on the card. Eclipse Chaser was the one that you came down on.
Yeah, again, a tricky choice. Eclipse Chaser by Jetaway, owned by Douglas Taylor. He fell at the second last in front in his point of points. His work has been good, and he's had a clear run. Leaky Cauldron by Well Chosen won his point of point. He just, you know, he missed last year. He hasn't had quite as clear a run, and that's why I've come down on Eclipse Chaser. Again, whether I'm quite right or wrong, I don't know. On ability-wise, there mightn't be a whole lot in there, but I just thought Eclipse Chaser had the better preparation. His work has been good. You know, it's 2.5 mile bumper, which really suits Well Chosen horses. They stay very well. But I've gone with Eclipse Chaser. His work is good, and hopefully I can get one of the 2 decisions right anyway.